your employee, PPD's employee, is notifying the Aventis study manager, who's no longer with Aventis, that she is receiving conflicting information from sites, including subjects who were never signed informed consents, and subjects who were treated with a different drug than that indicated in the existing database. And the Aventis study manager says, well, we can't unlock the database. So is it ever acceptable to run with the data when you are unsure if the subject signed the consent form or if the data integrity issues that are listed here remain with the study?
I think generally all of us in this business try to have a pristine database before we lock. So in other words, all of the outstanding queries have been answered and this, that, and the other. If, however, you stumble across something post-lock that indicates that in fact your procedure was not robust, then generally speaking you unlock the database and you make whatever the corrections are.
But that didn't happen here. They didn't unlock the database?
I don't know. I'm sorry,
Okay.
I don't.
Shouldn't this email have sent a red flag to your company that Aventis was not acting in good faith?
I don't know. I mean, I'm just not qualified to say. I don't know. I don't have any idea what was going on at Aventis.
Okay, but this is your employee, right?
Yes.
I wrote this.
Yes, sir.
Shouldn't you have done something about it, PPD? You have people who are allegedly in here but have no informed consent.
Well, I mean,
questions the integrity of the study.
It's not our responsibility to dictate to a client what they do or do not put into a submission, nor is that our responsibility generally to dictate to them how they do their analyses. Now, sometimes, as you know, there will be two sets of analyses. There'll be an intent to treat that has everybody that ever received the drug, no matter what, okay? And then there will be what we would call a primary set of efficacy and safety data.
And as we're dealing with the primary set of efficacy and safety with this drug, are we not? Isn't that the purpose of the study?
Ordinarily, that's the set of data upon which...
But this study right here, it's safety, right? Wasn't it the main purpose for the study?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
But the primary database, the one that you think is clean, would be the one that ordinarily I think a regulatory body would rely upon if they were going to rely upon the study, and it's my understanding they didn't even rely on this study.
So what are you saying? You keep two sets of books, you give the FDA the one that's the best for your drug?
No, sir. You give them both the analyses.
It says, as it says on your website, we will work with pride and unwavering integrity to help our clients accelerate delivery of safe and effective therapeutics to patients. In this case, do you think you lived up to that mission statement? Don't you think you had a responsibility for safe and effective therapeutics to patients?
I think under the conditions we absolutely did our job in trying
two sets of books, you give the FDA the one that's the best for your drug?
No, sir. You give them both the analyses.
It says, as it says on your website, we will work with pride and unwavering integrity to help our clients accelerate delivery of safe and effective therapeutics to patients. In this case, do you think you lived up to that mission statement? Don't you think you had a responsibility for safe and effective therapeutics to patients?
I think under the conditions we absolutely did our job in trying to identify departures from GCP and data integrity issues and to some extent fraud. I think Aventis did so as well with all of their checks and their audits and so forth and so on. To me, the issue of what did or did not get into a submission it's a related, but it's a different issue.
Well, I guess it's just not me thinking this. If I may go to Barron's newspaper on November 12, 2007, it reported that PPD, unlike many CROs, is willing to take a stake in some drugs being tested in exchange for free or cut price monitoring service. Does that put you in a dangerous conflict of interest position? That is, you are essentially monitoring a drug in which you have a financial interest?
Well, first of all, I don't agree with all of that statement in Barron's. We don't do anything in exchange for cut rate monitoring. I don't know what that means. But in terms of monitoring studies where we have a financial interest in the drug, I really don't see how that's different from any sponsor monitoring studies because, you know, the drug came out of their research. So I don't see how that's any different.
Well,
But
don't you have isn't PPD's duty, another duty in this, and in 3014 was to train and select qualified investigators for the study?
certainly to select, we were not responsible for the training. That was another third-party vendor.
Okay. Okay. Were you familiar with the Barron's newspaper report, The Very Pictures of Health, by Jay Palmer, dated November 12, 2007, which they mentioned PPD, unlike other CROs, take a financial
I can't
interest?
say that I was because I might have called them up and taken exception to their statement.
Okay. Okay, I have nothing further. Mr. Shimkus, anything further? No? Okay, then we'll excuse this panel. Thank you all for coming today.